All right, well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brady Sladek. I'm the General Sales Manager here at Mills Ford, and we're going to give you a quick sneak peek preview and introduction to the 2015 F-150. So we've got some cameras lined up, and we're just going to go for a ride. And I'm sure that most of you, as of now, have heard of the new F-150 and what it's all about. And of course, one of the big things that everybody talks about is that it's made of aluminum. And this isn't pop can aluminum, just so you know. It is military-grade aluminum alloy. And what does that mean? Well, that means that a Bradley fighting vehicle, which is what the U.S. military uses, is made out of a similar material. So no, your F-150 can't stop a bullet. However, it is made to be incredibly durable. And with that, they're able to shed, along with a few other measures, up to 700 pounds off the weight of a truck. And to put that in perspective, 700 pounds is a significant savings for performance, weight, handling, and so on and so forth. So as we're driving it, one of the things that I want to talk about is not just that it's lighter and it's made of aluminum, because obviously that's a fantastic thing. That's a new thing, and Ford's put a lot of energy into it. But I want to talk about the actual driving dynamics of the F-150. So everyone comes out with a cliche when a new car comes out, and they said, oh my gosh, it drives like a car. Yep, it's got four wheels. So it does drive like a car. But truly, in this F-150, and we're actually going to take a corner here. We're just on a back service road, cruising along. We're going to take a corner here. And one of the things that happened when Ford actually changed up the weight of the vehicle is most of you truck owners know that when you go through a corner, they kind of list over to one side because they're top heavy in a roundabout way. Well, when they took the weight off the body, they were actually able to make this quite a bit more neutral handling. So the car is incredibly stable. It corners flat, and they're actually able to pick up a lot of performance. So as we go along on this back road, of course, we are kind of sitting in comfort. Me and Sean, who's holding the camera over there next to me. And we've got our heated seats on. I'm not wearing gloves. It's really cold outside. It's got a heated steering wheel in this particular model. I think one of the biggest things that Ford has come up with is obviously they've been the truck leader for so long. How do you top the #1 selling truck, right? Well, I've actually had the luxury of meeting the chief engineer for the F-150. And I can tell you that Tony is incredibly talented at what he does and puts all his time and energy into it. And I will tell you that this truck shows every inch of it. Since we've gotten them here at the dealership, they've attracted crowds. Everybody wants to take a look at it. And everyone that has driven it has said, that is unbelievable. So why is it so unbelievable, right? They built a pickup truck. It's just a truck. You carry things in the back of it, right? Absolutely not. We're going to pull out on the road here. So this truck has everything you could ever imagine that you'd want, and then some, or available features. The new truck is available with 4 engines. They've got a regular 3.5 liter V6. They've got a 5 liter V8 for you V8 folks. They've got, of course, you've heard of the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, and there's a new one in town, the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. I suppose everyone's saying that's a really small engine, right? It is. But they've tested it, and they've said with 325 horsepower in a smaller or lighter truck, you pick up all the performance you need. This particular truck that we're driving is a 2015 F-150 Lariat, and this is equipped with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, the bigger of the engines, okay? And this is their top performing engine. You may notice in some of the literature there's no change year over year for power. Well, guess what? When you're driving an F-150 that's 700 pounds lighter, and most of that is off the body, guess what you can do? You can pick up performance just by driving the truck. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, of course, we're going to obey laws and so on and so forth. We're not going to get too rowdy out here. Is we're going to take off with this truck. Now we're just rolling along on the highway here, and we're cruising along. But let's say you needed to go around somebody, right? Well, when you take and you mat it, it'll put you right in the seat. And now you're probably hearing that sound, that growl. The truck's actually smart enough on some of the models to take and pump sound in so it sounds more natural while you're driving. Otherwise, the thing's so quiet, you couldn't hear the engine. So they actually pump sound in here. But the performance is astounding on this truck. I tell you, everyone that has driven it has said, unbelievable, this thing, how much power does it make? Does it make like 500 horsepower? No, it's not a drag car. It's a high torque pickup truck that'll pull trailers. And they've been able to crank the trailer towing up to 12,000 pounds. They've been able to increase fuel economy. They've been able to increase stop and go time, 0 to 60, quarter mile, all those components. But I think overall the biggest thing is just driving in it is I'm incredibly comfortable as I'm driving. I'm going down the road. I've got my truck over here in the left lane, As we go by, we've got blind spot monitoring to tell us that there's cars in my blind spot. You've seen this on some other luxury vehicles, high-end like BMW and Mercedes. So the truck will tell you all those things. But I think the bigger content is on the inside of it. So most pickup trucks, right, you want to be able to use your gloved hands, you want to be able to hop in and out of them. Well, you can do that on all the F-150s. They all have a high content level. But when you get to some of them, you live in the lap of luxury. So the seat that I'm sitting in, the heated seat is on. It's also cooled. Some of the models feature a massaging seat, which if you've never tried that out, it's glorious. It keeps you from falling asleep on a long trip. But even this truck right now, as I'm driving, there's some driving aids in it. And as I'm going along, I'm going to get up the highway here, and we're actually going to get behind somebody. It has a feature called Adaptive Cruise. So this big truck, right, it's long. It's a 145-inch wheelbase. It's big. It's imposing. It's got a big grill on it. It actually is smart enough that as I'm driving, when I set the cruise, it's going to tell me if I'm getting too close to somebody and actually slow the truck down. I don't know how they do it. There's some sensors on the outside of it, and it does amazing things. But along with those sensors, this particular one and several other models are actually able to parallel park itself. Now, a truck with a 145-inch wheelbase is really long. Just to see it to do that acrobatic trick is absolutely phenomenal. And it can park in a spot that's 1.2 times its length. So it actually doesn't need that much space. I'm going to get us up to speed here so we can try out the adaptive cruise on it, if I set this correctly. And right now it's warning me on the dash, you can't see it, but it's warning me that I'm close to the yellow line on the other side, because as I go over here, it's going to give me some feedback, if it can see the white line, that I am too close to the side of the road. There's some snow over there, so it doesn't want to cooperate with me too much, but it's going to tell me that, hey, guess what, you're driving like a fool. It will also tell me that I need to stop if for some reason it thinks that I'm tired. So the truck's got a little sass to it, quite frankly. And I think that one of the biggest things, we're going to get up to speed here, is that interior content. And most of them are available with My Ford Touch, and you've seen that on other Ford vehicles. And they've got the controls here in 4 easy to see quadrants, climate control, entertainment, so on and so forth. But they kind of added all the features that those high-end luxury cars have. It's absolutely unreal to be able to sit in a truck, not hear a whole heck of a lot of noise. We're, of course, driving down the road in this thing, and I think both Sean and I can say there's not much going on other than me talking. And as we go down the road, the truck has now slowed me down to the car in front of me, by the way. I've set the cruise. He's driving a little bit slower, and it's not letting me get any closer to him. But of course, when I go over here into the other lane, as I pull out, the car speeds up again. So on a long trip, for those of you that put a lot of wheel time, this thing takes care of half of it for you. Now you got to control the gas and the brakes, and you do have to steer. But it's kind of those little features that you thought 5 years ago, who comes up with this stuff? Well, Ford Motor Company does. It actually just told me that I was getting too close to the lane again and kind of shoved me back the other way. It's smart enough not to let me drive in the ditch, which is kind of a nice feature because I'm over here talking away. So within all that, of course, as I'm driving this truck, it corners flat, it brakes flat. It just feels like a really comfortable, solid built truck. Coming up a little slippery there. It's Minnesota after all. So we're going to get on it again here as we pull out. So that's the 3.5 liter EcoBoost taking off down the road. All right, and we're already up to speed. Not much work to do there. Absolutely phenomenal when they took the weight off this truck. Now I mentioned the 700 pounds off the truck. So yes, a lot of it came off the body. We all know that. But they actually have a few other tricks up their sleeve. They actually have gotten wise enough that they've figured out that, you know what, that's not the only place to save weight. No, the frame's not made of aluminum either. The frame is actually made of high-strength steel, which in the past they used steel, but they didn't use as much high-strength steel. And high-strength steel actually tends to be a little bit lighter and stronger. So they're actually able to make this frame stronger and lighter at the same time. Again, I don't know how they do it, but these engineers are absolutely, they think of things that nobody even asked them. And 70% of the weight comes off the body. As you're driving it, you notice, okay, that's off the body. But they've even come up with some things like hollow filament carpet. Don't bother looking it up, it's a real thing. But hollow filament carpet, just to make the carpet fibers lighter. They've come up with weight-saving techniques to make sure that all the components in the truck are lighter. Because that 700-pound weight savings, of course, is a significant thing. Because that is what they needed to base the truck off of. To give you an indicator, when Ford is building to the scale of how important this aluminum is, Ford in 1 month is going to build more F-150s in 1 month as the entire auto industry sold aluminum-bodied vehicles in all of 2013. That's astonishing. So when you take that into account, you got to think, if they spent that much time on the body, it wasn't that they were going to hack everything else in it. If you look around at the features, this is the first time I've ever seen a stitched dash on a pickup truck. I didn't even know that was a thing. So you got stitched dash, all the interior pieces. If you look at the outside of the picture, of the truck, we'll have some pictures and some video of that as well. You can see that the finishing on it alone is unbelievable. It features, this truck actually has, and it is available, LED spotlights under the mirrors. It features LEDs in the pickup box, because for those of you that have a tonneau cover in your box and you reach in the back in the middle of the night and you got your ice fishing gear with you, you're not sure if you should stick your hand up there because you're not sure what's out there. This truck has LEDs in the pickup box to tell you that it's okay to stick your hand up there and what you're actually going to be reaching at. So all these components added up build you like the #1 truck. It's absolutely unreal to look at with all the features on here. What is it that have they missed? Well, they really haven't missed anything. They've thought of it all. While I'm sitting here, I'm going to turn this on. We're at a stoplight here. The 360-degree camera. So I actually see what's behind me, in front of me, and alongside me. So if I'm parking the truck, this has no function of use while I'm sitting here in traffic, folks, other than if you wanted to, look at the car next to you. But you can actually adjust, and it can look out behind you. It can look ahead of you. This is actually a view of the sides and the front of the truck, and it can give you all those things with just the touch of a button. Any of you that have had a pickup truck and you're trying to back it into your garage, you can probably all attest that every once in a while you get a little bit close. Well, fold the mirrors in, tap the 360-degree camera, and I'll tell you exactly right where you're at. Because I actually want to take it down a little bumpier road. And do keep in mind it's a very frigid morning, but we're nice and cozy. We got our dual zone climate control on. The heated seat is fantastic. And we're just going to cruise along out here. Again, I'm watching my lane keeping assist light up and tell me everything that I need to know and that I'm actually centered in the lane. For those of you that do a lot of wheel time, even in the middle of the night, it will work if it can see them. The key is it has to be able to see the lines. But as I'm driving along, we're now on a side road that's a little bit bumpier. I don't feel a thing. Ford puts a lot of stock in the safety of these trucks. It puts a lot of stock in how they drive. And with a strong frame, they're actually able to build a foundation that really is the safety key of the whole truck. We never like to talk about accidents because, boy, that's kind of not something you ever want to experience. Well, this truck has got the full accoutrement of side airbags, side curtain airbags for those of you sitting in the back seat. This one's actually got really slick inflatable seat belts. No, they're not a balloon party animal. They inflate for children in the back seat if they're across their chest to give it a bigger surface area. This truck is equipped with those as well, and those are available on some models, standard on others. They've even come up with, this is pretty trick. I'm going to keep my eyes on the road, and I'm going to have Sean look at it for you. They've come up with a roll bar system in the truck, because above us, we've got a moonroof that goes stem to stern. There's cars that don't even have that available, folks. So we're not going to open it today. It's really cold out, and we probably have an Arctic blast here inside the truck. But bring some light into the truck. Well, it actually doesn't need the center section of aluminum up there to make it stable. It uses a very high-tech girder system and roll cage built into the truck. And what does that tell you? Well, the stats on the last truck is it could hold 2.5 times its weight on the roof. I'd expect no less from this one. Not that you're going to be stacking them like Lego bricks, but you could if you wanted to. I'd like to see it. Please give me a call down at the Ford store if you decide to stack a couple of them on top of each other, because I think that'd be pretty slick to see. So now we're just on some side roads, and as we drive along, one of the things that you notice, we're not bouncing all over the place. I'm incredibly comfortable over here, as I've said. I've got tunes if I want them. The high-end Sony stereo system. We've got all our safety features working. We've got a little ice on the road, but the truck doesn't even seem to notice it. And I have to tell you, like I said, this has got everything you could want. If we were pulling a trailer, it's got trailer sway control built in to help us keep us going on the road. We'd be able to back up to that trailer with the full set of cameras that we've got on it. That center actually right over the top of the trailer hitch. We're going to slow down here for a second. We got a little road construction happening. And the truck's trying to force me back into the lane, by the way. It does it very gently. It's not a violent thing, but you can feel the feedback in the steering wheel. And all these things are adjustable, so if you do want to turn them on, off, up, or down, you can do all of that. The truck market is highly competitive, and there's a lot of manufacturers out there, and everybody wants to step up their game. And Ford, to be #1, really has to make sure that not only do they step up their game, but they really improve upon what they've got, and they don't sleep, and they don't rest, and they don't try to wait for somebody else to do something, and they've proven that. You know, they were one of the first to market that said, you know what, let's downsize our engine, strap some turbos to it, and we're going to get more power and we're going to get more fuel economy. And they've done just that. And then introduced it in their entire other vehicle lineup. And that's a big thing, to say that you're going to get all that capability. They've downsized it once again, as I mentioned, with a 2.7 liter EcoBoost, which is available in these pickup trucks and will be handy for everybody. They've adapted so that they've got 3 trailer tow packages available, so that for those of you that are just towing a small fishing boat, the standard one will suffice. The truck will pull 5,000 pounds and everything will work. And then you can bump it up so you can tow 7,000 pounds plus, depending on the engine option. This truck will actually tow actually close to 10,000 pounds in this particular one. And then, as I mentioned, if you want the max tow package, you can expand upon that and you can tow up to 12,000 pounds, which is ridiculous, by the way. That's like towing 3 or 4 Ford Focuses behind you, if you ever wanted to put that into perspective. So they've come up with all the capability, and they've asked truck owners, what is it you want? And I think as the truck market changes, as everybody uses these trucks as commuter vehicles and as they use them as family haulers, you've seen a shot of the back seat there. You can actually lay down in the back because it's flat if you wanted to. You could sleep back there. You can sit back there in comfort. You could take this on a long commute. You could sit in the back. Some of them have available heated seats in the rear. You wouldn't think of these things on pickup trucks. And then they add all the other technologies that it can do from a capability standpoint. You really don't need another vehicle. You can drive one of these things miles and miles and miles, never feel fatigued, never feel like, you know what, I wish I had that. They've got all of that. In fact, I know of high-end luxury cars that don't have some of the features that this car has at any price. Well, what does that tell you? Ford's stepping up their game. They want to make sure there's one of these in everybody's driveway. And not only is this the #1 selling truck, but it's the #1 selling vehicle. This truck is actually available in 5 trim levels: XL, XLT, the Lariat, the King Ranch, and the Platinum. But every one of them is available with something nice. So you have your, on select models, you have your choice of chrome or painted bumpers, depending on if you get a chrome package or you get a sport package. You can kind of customize the look of the vehicle. They've got available wheel sizes, available engine sizes. They've got different bed lengths. They've got a 5.5 and a 6.5 available on the crew cab that I'm driving. And you can hear our truck here as we bound along across this road. They've got available in the super cab 6.5 and 8 foot boxes. They've got a regular cab model available. Interesting thing to note about the super cab model, for those of you that have driven one of those, is the doors swing out opposite the truck. They've actually expanded that so they almost open a full 180 degrees. So they're no longer in your way if you're trying to get into the back seat. You can kind of open it, leave the side open. And really, there's something for everybody. And they're configurable at any piece. Even the XLT model, which is the midline model, is available with the reverse camera setup. It's available with the full lineup of engines. It's available with the some of the other features that I've mentioned. You can even order a particular model with navigation systems built in. So you don't have to get everything on it to get some of those things that you might become accustomed to. And really, what that says is they're trying to build something for everybody. And you can get it at any given cost, and you can kind of vary what it is that you're looking for. I do invite everybody to come down and take a test drive of this truck and really just check it out. And that goes for you Ford owners. That goes for you non-Ford owners. That goes for you folks that like to get into the pickup truck world. If you haven't had one yet, go ahead. I think what you'll find is that you could actually drive one of these on a regular basis and couldn't think of anything else that you're going to want more. And we'll find one that fits exactly what it is that you're looking for. I want to thank everyone for shopping with us. And please give us a call, 866-455-7638. Schedule yourself a test drive, and these are available at our Brainerd, Baxter, and our Willmar locations, both Mills Ford. So thanks to everyone, and come on and take a drive.